Shakespeare's plays have around 3,000 religious references, and they are all collected here by Nasib Shaheen in his book Biblical References in Shakespeare's Plays. In these references there are also 14 resurrections, which have been noticed since the 1930s. These were recently collected in Sean Benson's book Shakespearean Resurrection, The Art of Almost Raising the Dead. Today, in this video, we are going to look at how the Dark Lady players approach two of these resurrections, one in As You Like It and the other in Hamlet. First, As You Like It is a play written as a pastoral, which was a particular kind of genre designed to deceive by saying one thing on the surface and something completely different underneath. We are going to focus on Act 4, Scene 3 of As You Like It. We are told that the action is taking place on the Tuffet of Olives, or Mount of Olives. We are told the story of how Orlando has been savaged by a lion, then goes into a cave where he faints, and he recovers. This is very similar to the event in the Passion story. It also takes place on the Mount of Olives. In the Gospels, where Jesus dies, he is taken into a cave and then recovers. One piece of evidence is that Orlando has a napkin that is also called a handkerchief. He binds up his arm in it. Jesus also had a piece of cloth that one Bible translation called a handkerchief and another called a napkin. It was the face cloth that was supposedly laid over his face in the cave. Another indication that As You Like It is a religious allegory comes a bit later when Orlando quotes from Thomas à Kempis's book The Imitation of Christ, when he says at the start of Act 5, Scene 4, quote, "I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not," unquote. The playwright's opinion of the Gospel's Passion story is made pretty clear by a rhetorical device, resembling the one for the death of Bodin, as described in our video on A Midsummer Night's Dream. As you can see here, the word passion is surrounded by 6 different mentions of the word counterfeit. In other words, the playwright is saying that this scene is a comic parody of the Passion story. The Passion story, it is here argued, is actually a counterfeit. Our second example of a resurrection scene in the plays comes from Hamlet and the Gravediggers scene. We have the character Laertes, who holds out his arms in the shape of a cross and compares himself to a life-giving pelican. The pelican was a standard medieval and Renaissance image of Jesus. The idea is that Jesus gave his blood to save humanity from sin. So, in the same way, the pelican supposedly gives her own blood to feed her baby pelicans. But the Gravediggers scene is very significant, since the Gravediggers say that the graves only last till doomsday. And since they are throwing up skulls, then evidently these graves have not lasted barely 30 years. So that means, in the play's world, that the present day is doomsday, and doomsday is when Jesus will return. When we have the scene where Laertes jumps into the grave and then out of it, alluding to how Jesus supposedly rose from the grave, the Dark Lady players have rearranged the text slightly and edited it to make the pattern as clear as possible. This 6th century illuminated manuscript shows Jesus being offered a drink of vinegar or sour wine, as is described in the Gospel of John, or in Hebrew, Yohanan. In Hamlet, the second gravedigger is sent away to fetch a drink of Johannan's liquor, thus confirming that this is a parody of the crucifixion and resurrection. To learn more, come see the Dark Lady Players production of Shakespeare's Gospel Parodies, A Midieval Mystery Tour, at West Park Church between 86th and Amsterdam from September 11th through the 25th. Admission is free. We hope to see you then.